Let us start by repeating Om three times. Let us offer prayers to all ancient yoga gurus. Om Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktincha Tatputra Parasarancha Vyasam Sukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Madasa Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Madasya Padmapadancha Hastamalakancha Sishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaram Sivananda Chidanandanyan Asmad Gurun Santatamanatosmi Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Sri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Shakat Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Anyada Sharanam Nasti Tvameva Sharanam Mama Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Raksha Raksha Mahaprabhu Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I am thankful to Dr. Neel Kamal Singh ji, Assistant Professor of Yoga, Manipur Yoga University, for giving me this opportunity to talk to all the MSc Yoga aspirants and also faculty members of Department of Yoga, Manipur University, as well as our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Manipur University. I am very, very thankful to have an online discussion with all you all. Just now I am sitting on the banks of Mother Ganga, abode of worshipful Gurudev Sri Swami Shivanji Maharaj. Today, on this auspicious day of 11th October 2020, I am very happy to share my experience of staying here in the ashram under the able guidance of senior Swamijis, especially Sri Swami Chidanji Maharaj, Sri Swami Krishnaji Maharaj, and other Swamijis. As said by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, yoga is a very, very ancient science. Lord Krishna beautifully said in the 4th chapter, 1st verse, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave prahur manu rishvakve bravit. It means, I taught this yoga imperishable to Vivaswan, means sun god. And sun god taught it to his son Manu. He is one of the progenitor of human beings, mental born son of the creator Brahma. And he taught to him Ishwaku lineage, while Lord Rama comes under that solar dynasty. Hence it is called imperishable yoga. Lord Krishna is not an ordinary person. He taught this yoga imperishable. He spoke it as a universal consciousness. that consciousness alone is imperishable. Hence, it shows yoga was there even before the creation of human beings. It is so ancient. Lord Krishna is a beautiful, everybody knows about this story. When he was a young baby, he was eating mud. When his adopted mother Yashoda threatened him to open his mouth, he opened his mouth because normally we are human beings. Human beings are called earthly beings. We eat nothing but mud only, that is coming from the mud. But Lord Krishna was not such a person. He was in this world but not of this world. When he opened his mouth, Mother Yashoda saw all the universes. That is the name of Krishna, Akarshayati Krishna. It means he who attracts all beings. It means the entire universe is in that consciousness. Hence, yoga imperishable means it is a universal science. Every action has got universal relationship. Hence, we come to know a normal proverb: to pluck a flower in the garden is to disturb a star in the heaven. Yoga is such an ancient science. It is intimately connected with everything. Hence, another great yogi philosopher, Adi Shankaracharya, he also beautifully narrated this yoga in his famous work called Aparokshanubhuti. It is said this yoga was having 15 limbs. Now sage Patanjali made it as Ashtanga Yoga. These 15 limbs are Tyaga, renunciation; Mauna, silence; Desha, space; Kala, time; Mulabandha; and Tataka, firmness in vision; and Atma Nivedana, it means self-contemplation. These 7 limbs plus sage Patanjali brought it everything in 8 limbs, Ashtanga Yoga, which everybody of you knows it. Yama, Niyamas, Asanas, Pranayamas, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. Yoga is very ancient. Following the footsteps of ancient sages and saints, our adorable Gurudev brought this yoga in a very simple scientific way. When sage Vyasa, commenting the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, he beautifully said, Yogo yogena gnatavyam, yogo yogat pravartate, apramattena yogena sayogi ramate chiram. It means yoga is to be learned by intent pursuit. Yoga can be perfected by constant practice. With careful, vigilant practicing yogi alone can attain enduring bliss. Our Gurudev, Swami Shivanji Maharaj, is an ideal example for that. Swamiji's name also called Shivananda. He who dwells in the bliss of Lord Shiva. Shiva is Devadeva, Mahadeva, Adideva. He is called Yogishwara. He is the Lord of all yogis. Lord Krishna is called Yogeshwara, Lord of all yogas. Hence, we are very fortunate to come under the footsteps or umbrella of worshipful Gurudev Swami Shivanji Maharaj. Swamiji Maharaj, being a doctor, working in rubber plantation in 1920s in Malaysia, He also came to know about the proverb, it is doctor who gives medicine, it is God who cures the disease. He want to know that God principle, that God element in human body. In the beginning, he was only a doctor for the body. Then in 1920s, he came to Rishikesh. He practiced all yogas and followed all the teachings of East and West, and he studied all the scriptures. And he understood yoga is a very great ancient science, and he began to practice all yogas: Hatha Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Japa Yoga, and also Kundalini Yogas. All the yogas he combined. He coined it a yoga of synthesis, combination of all yogas. And he said, he brought in this thing, all these yogas in a simple words: serve, love, meditate, realize. Serve means Karma Yoga. Love means Bhakti Yoga. Meditate, Raja Yoga. Realization is called Jnana Yoga. Bhagavad Gita also contains all these yogas. And Swami Shivaji Maharaj not only followed the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, and he practiced it, and he brought it in a more simple and scientific way. Yoga is a science. And in the beginning, you will have to practice Hatha Yoga, a set of yogasanas, pranayamas, bandhas and mudras. It is very, very important. And being a doctor, he emphasized health is real wealth. Without health, no one can practice yoga. Hence, he emphasized a set of asanas and pranayamas to be practiced daily. When you do the asanas and pranayamas in the beginning, after some years of practice, whatever position in the body, it should become an asana. Breathing should become pranayama. And Swami Shivaji Maharaj, understanding the difficulty of human mind, he wrote many books about yoga science. Swamiji wrote about 300 books, and at present we have compilation from so many books, more than 500 books in his name. He touched all aspects, all subjects, and he brought everything in small, simple words. Serve, love, meditate, realize, be good, do good. And he emphasized that the greatest importance of serving Karma Yoga, service to the sick, poor and needy, is the easiest form of worship of the Lord, because God is in all beings. It is said, even subhuman beings, when Swamiji was working in the hospital, even subhuman monkeys and cows, they used to come, and Swamiji used to treat them just like any other human being. Swamiji saw the divinity in all beings. That is the greatness of Swami Shivaji Maharaj. He was so kind and compassionate, because yoga is a science. By practicing it, we can feel the prana with which our body exists is the same prana exists in all bodies. That prana manifests in different levels. Look at our own body. In our head, hair is there. If you cut the hair, you won't feel pain. It means in the hair also prana is there. Nails also prana is there. If you cut, you won't feel any pain. Similarly, vegetarians, they are pranas, but they won't cause pain. By practicing yoga, diet is also very, very important. Ahara suddha sattva suddhi. Hence, as you eat food, sattvic portion of the food makes our mind. Hence, Swamiji wrote books about the mind, conquest of mind, concentration, meditation, and Swamiji gave very, very importance to the mind, because mind is everything. And entire universe is nothing but our own mind. When you go to deep sleep, when the mind sleeps, including our body, disappears. When you wake up, it is not only mind is waking, the entire universe becomes a part of our mind. It means we create the universe. The entire universe in our own mind. Hence, mind is the cause for suffering, and mind is also cause for liberation. And Swamiji emphasized, repetition of God's name is very, very important. Japa yoga. Hence, while doing asanas and pranayamas, one must mentally repeat God's name. That is very, very important. Not only Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga, Japa Yoga is very, very important because mind can be tackled not only by doing pranayama and also right thinking. Right thinking will come only by repetition of God's name because God is all pervading. If we repeat any name of God, automatically mind will assume that form of God. For example, Om Namah Shivaya. If you repeat Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva is not to be worshipped with form. Shiva is worshipped only with symbol called Shivalinga. Look at that Shivalinga, one stone dome shape, another stone as a base. If you repeat Om Namah Shivaya, you transcend all the 5 elements. Na, Ma, Si, Va, Ya represent all the 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air and space. The Om represents the 3 states of the mind, waking, dream and deep sleep. By repeating this Om Namah Shivaya, you are not only transcending the 5 elements, you can also transcend the 5 states of the mind. It means by repeating God's name, one can transcend physically, vitally, mentally, intellectually, and also causally. Hence, Bhagavad Gita also emphasizes in the 3rd chapter, 42nd verse, it is beautifully said, Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhya param manaha, manasastu para buddhi, yo buddhe paratastu saha. It means, superior to the body are the senses. Superior to the senses is the mind. Superior to the mind is the intellect. Even that which is superior to the intellect is called the self, all-pervading, eternal, imperishable consciousness. It means, imperishable yoga means we must go from grosser level to subtle levels of consciousness and feel that supreme light of consciousness which is called Shiva. Similarly, if you repeat Om Namo Narayanaya, meaning is I salute the all-pervading consciousness. In that mantra, Ra has got very, very important. If you remove Ra, Om Namo Narayanaya, it gives opposite meaning. Om Namo Narayanaya, if you remove Ra, Om Namo Nayanaya means not all-pervading. Similarly, Om Namah Shivaya, in that Ma has got so much importance. If you remove the Ma from Om Namah Shivaya, Om Nas Shivaya means not absolute light of consciousness. Join the Ra from Om Namo Narayanaya, Ma from Om Namah Shivaya, it becomes Ram, Ram, Ram. And look at it, we all know the power of Hanuman. By repeating Ram, 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 he can cross the oceans, lift the mountains. Such a terrible strength will come by repeating the Ram, Ram, Ram. Ram, that Japa Yoga has got such a power. And while practicing asanas and pranayamas, we must mentally repeat God's name. God's name is the panacea to cure physical, vital, mental and psychological limitations and also diseases. Limitation is a disease and suffering. Hence, Swami Sivananda, with his own personal experience, emphasized not only asanas and pranayamas, but repetition of God's name. And Japa Yoga is very, very important. Japa yoga alone can purify the mind. Mind is nothing but bundle of impressions, and that impressions can be transcended by positive thoughts. Just like a thorn can be removed by a needle, all the negative thoughts can be removed from positive thoughts of God's name, and also we can go beyond the limitation of mind. Mind is essentially consciousness. Swami Shivananda Maharaj gave a beautiful definition about the mind. Consciousness plus thoughts equal to mind. Mind minus thought equal to consciousness. Hence, by repeating God's name, you go beyond the all mental process or thought process. That is the definition of yoga given by sage Patanjali also. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Cessation of all mental modification will take place only by absorbing the mind in essential, divine, all-pervading consciousness. Hence, Bhagavad Gita gives that definition only about yoga. In the 6th chapter, 23rd verse, Lord Krishna beautifully gives definition of yoga. Normally, we as students of yoga, when I ask what is yoga, normally tell yoga chittavritti nirodha, yoga karmasya kausalam, dukkha samyoga viyogam, all these things. But Bhagavad Gita gives quite different definition. It tells tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samjitam. Let that be known by the name of yoga, a state of separation from all limitations or suffering. That is called yoga. Bhagavad Gita gives such a beautiful definition. That is the glory of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is called Yoga Shastra. It touches all aspects of yoga. Hence, let that be known by the name of yoga, a state of mind free from all limitations. Normally, we got a physical limitation, vital limitation, mental limitation, and intellectual limitation, and so-called spiritual limitations also. Hence, we must transcend all these things. That is called yoga of synthesis, propagated, advised by our worshipful Gurudev Swami Shivaji Maharaj. And he brought all these yogas in words: serve, love, meditate, realize, and be good and do good. One should be good and do good. This is not only the statement by Swami Shivaji Maharaj, it is also a statement given by sage Vyasa, who wrote 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. When someone asked him what is the essence of all the Puranas and Sub-Puranas, Upapuranas, he said, Ashtadasa Purananam Saram Saram Samudritam Paropakaraya Punyaya Papaya Parapedanam. Doing good to others is meritorious. And Swami Shivaji Maharaj, not only writing all the books, today we have more than 500 books. The essence of all these books he brought in 2 phrases: be good and do good. And one should be good in all levels of existence. Then whatever we do, it is not only good to us, it should be good to all beings, not only human beings. Hence, yoga is a universal science. Hence, it is not something unconnected to our daily existence. As said by our Dr. Neil Kamalji, it should be our practical daily experience also. Hence, Swamiji's teachings like that, just like a boat. Boat should sail in water, water should not enter the boat. And Swami also said, be in this world, but not of this world. And what is that worldliness? As said by the Bhagavad Gita, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Ma Upasitaha Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Pota. Even Lord Krishna himself beautifully said, many have attained me by transcending Raga, Bhaya and Krodha. These are the three weaknesses of our human mind. And we must transcend this only by practicing asanas, pranayamas, japa and meditation. Meditation is very, very important aspect of our life. In the beginning, concentration is important. You select any form of God, or as suggested by Sage Patanjali, even a distant star or a black spot in the wall is okay. It is only concentration. Similarly, repetition of God's name also in the beginning it's a concentration. It is called a mantra. Means mentally directing, focusing your mind on any name of God. It is called mantra. It is for concentration. But it is not sufficient. One should do japa. You know the difference between mantra and japa? Mantra means mananat trayate iti mantraha. Mentally repeating any name of God is called mantra. It becomes japa when you feel the meaning, because we are called human beings, feeling for others. We live in pranic level. That prana is very subtle. You know, prana, apana, samana, uma, apana, udana, and vyana means all pervading. That all pervading is also pranic, prana only. And by repeating mantra, if you feel it, it is called japa. By japa alone, take us to ajapa, which is called meditation. Hence, japa is very, very important. By feeling, one should go beyond that so-called feeling of meditation also, become one with it. Just like a Lord Krishna, baby Krishna, when he opened his mouth, Yashoda saw all the lokas, galaxies in that space. We are also living in that space. When I ask somebody, when you open your space, what you see, majority of people tell we see the teeth and tongue. No, we see nothing but space. We are in space. Look at it, science has come so nearer. Our body is nothing but cells. Every cell is pulsating with that consciousness. Hence, full of prana. That prana is nothing but vyana, all pervading. When every cell is full of space, then where is body? Hence our Gurudev said, you are nobody. You are not this body, not this mind. You are immortal self, you are. That is the declaration of worshipful Gurudev Swami Shivaji Maharaj. Whenever worshipful Swami Chidanand Maharaj, who followed the footsteps of Swami Shivaji Maharaj, he also used to address radiant immortal Atman. Hence, great sages, saints, they see nothing but Atmanhood or selfhood in all names and forms. That is also the essence of the Mahabharata. It is said, Yavan Atman Vedatma, Tavan Atma Paratmani, Yayevam Satatam Veda, Somrtatvaya Kalpate. Meaning is, he who feels the self in this body, the same self in all bodies, from atom to planet, he is fit to attain immortality. That is our goal of life. That is the purpose of yoga. Yoga is not merely physical level, vital level, mental level or psychological level. It is called imperishable yoga, taking the mind to its own essential nature, which our worshipful Gurudev gave a beautiful definition of the mind. Consciousness is the mind, and our mind is essentially consciousness. Hence, our worshipful Gurudev, when you get up in the morning, what you will have to do? Big letters, write in the wall when you get up and see it. MYOB. Mind your own business. Just before going to sleep, see it. That is called minding our own business. Seeing that own consciousness not only in this body, in all bodies. It is not something unknown to us. Look at our body. In our body, skeleton is there. We won't feel we are the skeletons. Muscles and nerves are there. We won't feel it. Pranas are there. Fluids are there. We won't feel it. We are eating only that I-ness, and it is nothing but consciousness. That is our essential nature. To feel it, not only in this body, in all bodies, that is the purpose of meditation. Meditation is not merely closing the eyes. In Yoga Vasishtha, there was a king, he also wanted to meditate. His own wife became a guru. When she asked to meditate, he began to close his eyes. Then she began to tell, by opening your eyes, your God will run away, because God is all pervading. We must change the angle of vision. That is very, very important in yoga. It is not the closing eyes or opening the eyes. We must change the angle of vision in our own life. It means to see that which is our own essential nature. Hence Mahabharata emphatically declares, Nasti Sankhya Samam Jnanam, Nasti Yoga Samam Balam. There is no knowledge greater than the knowledge of the self. There is no power greater than the power of yoga. And our Swami Shivaji Maharaj lived in that spirit, and he emphasized, you must also practice yoga. Goal of life is self-realization and God-realization. Remember it, feel it, daily practice a set of asanas, pranayamas, japa and meditation. Be good and do good, serve, love, meditate, realize, and feel that self in all beings. That is the purpose of yoga. Now, I talked nearly 35 minutes. You are welcome to ask any questions.
You have mentioned clearly that closing eye is not a meditation, but as a beginner, what is the first step to be done for the practice of meditation?
Look at our daily experience. When you want to sit and meditate, when you close your eyes, opening your eyes only see little things. By closing the eyes, mind can go to all over the universe. We see many things by closing the eyes. Is it not? That is our daily experience. Hence, if you repeat God's name, concentrate on the form of any form of God, and every form of God, especially in Hinduism, they got a universal form. Hence, that you feel that universal form, wherever the mind goes, it will go to that only. Hence it is said, Deha Vimane Galite, transcending the body consciousness, Vijnate Paramatmani, understanding the self which is all pervading. Wherever the mind goes, it will go to that only, all pervading consciousness. Hence, in the beginning, of course, open your eyes and concentrate on any form of God. Afterwards, you close and visualize that form only. And also that form will take to universal consciousness or universal form. Then it will be helpful. Otherwise, many people simply close the eyes, mind will go here and there. It will become more distractions in the mind than merely opening the eyes. Okay?
So I got a great opportunity from Swamiji. So my question is, Swamiji, I'm also a devotee, and so please have some advice to my student that how their study and how their life is very fruitful in the as a human society, human being in the society, and what are the things to be, which way will be the better for as a student life. So please guide to the student that they can be better the human in the near future. Swamiji.
As per the advice of Worshipful Chidanand Maharaj, I compiled a book called Practical Guide to Yoga, a set of asanas and pranayamas, and also brief techniques given about meditation. Daily, if a person practices it, it won't take more than 1 hour. Hence, one can attend one's own daily activities. Morning, one can do a set of asanas and pranayamas. Evenings he can do pranayamas and spend more time for meditation and also study Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures. Hence, this will help to change the way of thinking. Swami Chidanand Maharaj followed the footsteps of Gurudev, and he also said that in the beginning one should do some selfless service. According to one's own convenience, one can help others as much as possible. And also daily do the asanas, pranayamas, meditation, and also read Bhagavad Gita. Better to by heart all the 700 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, so that it will help. Swamiji, when I came to ashram, I got a privilege to have personal spiritual guidance from Chidanand Maharaj. And Swamiji said, there are 5 G's. Do you know? First is called Govinda. Second is called Ganga. Third is called Gita. Fourth, Govinda, Gita, Ganga, Gayatri, Guru Seva, and there is no place for 6th G. What is it? Gossip. No place for 6th G in daily life. And Swami Chidanand Maharaj said, and also there are 4 E's. Email, 4 E's. That is called Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Dharma means ethical. Artha means economical. Kama means emotional. Moksha means emancipation. And there is no place for 5th E. What is the 5th E? Ego. Hence, if you follow, as a disciple of Chidanand Maharaj, if you follow it, our life also will be good.
Sorry. I would like to ask one question. Is that how Bhagavad Gita helps in day-to-day basis on account of holistic personality development?
Oh, you know, essence of Bhagavad Gita, one word. Repeat that word, Gita. Gita, 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 Gita means Tyagi. What you have to renounce, note it down. Worshipful Swami Krishnanji Maharaj beautifully used to tell, Gita means Tyaga, what you will have to renounce. Renunciation of externality in experience. Renunciation of externality in experience. Number 2, renunciation of projectedness in space. Number 3, renunciation of objectness in objects. That is the teachings of the Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters. First group of 6 chapters explains what is this I. Second group of 6 chapters, 7 to 12, explains what is this visible universe. Third group of 6 chapters explain what is God. Without renunciation of I-ness, this visible worldliness, and also wrong notions about God. That is the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. I could not hear, please. Rajkumar from? Okay. You know, the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this is called Sthita Prajna Lakshana. From 55 to 72 verses, nature of this sage of steady wisdom. And also in the 12th chapter, from 13 to 20, it's called Amritashtakam. They are all the characters of the devotee, characters of the sage of steady wisdom. And also in 14th chapter, from 21 to 23, is called Gunatita, who has transcended the three gunas. Above all, after coming to the ashram, I saw our worshipful Gurudev Swami Shivanji Maharaj and Chidanji Maharaj. All the qualities we can read in the books, we can see them and feel them in the divine presence. And finally, when we are in deep sleep, we do not know what is happening in this visible universe. Hence, we cannot judge others due to our limited understanding and wrong notions. First, if you begin to practice yoga, and whoever it may be, if you consider as a spiritual person or godly person, take guidance from them. Daily read the Bhagavad Gita, Sthita Prajna Lakshana, and 12th chapter, that's called Bhakti Yoga, and 14th chapter, Gunatita, characters. Then try to implement in one's own self. Then when we are purified, then we will feel the entire universe is nothing but pure. Okay? And in the beginning, don't judge others. Judge not. Hence, that's why I said, important instruction by Gurudev, MYOB, mind your own business. Everyone is right. God is all pervading. We are not seeing it. We see something bad. Our Chidanji Maharaj using a very beautiful example. Look at the fingers, position of the fingers. If you tell this is bad, at that moment, under our own thumb, 3 fingers are pointing towards me. It means, first thing is, I am not seeing bad. It means, my eyes see nothing but bad. The moment whatever you see, mind take that shape. If you see the flower, mind take that shape of the flower. If you see bad, your mind also that take the bad shape. And third becomes, you begin to think and feel, you become bad. On the other hand, enter symbol of yoga only this. Mind that goes outward, this is called I. And look at it, the strength of this is called index finger, indicates this. That mind that goes outward, directed to its own source, without thumb, these 4 fingers have no strength. Hence, this index finger should go to its own source. Then there's no place for 3 things. It means the I become one with the universal conscious. This represents the divinity. These represent the I. This is called Chin Mudra or Yoga Mudra. Then there's no place for negativity or bad in this world. This is called Chin Mudra or Yoga Mudra. Hence, this is the symbol with which you will have to meditate. It should not be only with symbols. The entire universe is nothing but symbol or symbolicals. Enter yoga also in the beginning symbols. Look at it. Right nostril connected with the sun. Left nostril connected with the moon. It means sun and moon, they are under your nose. Is it not? If you feel properly, if you breathe, the right nostril increases heat in the body. If you breathe to left nostril, it cools the system. Hence, it is not only breathing, you go to little subtler levels called nadis, Ida and Pingala. You must transcend that, you go beyond, it's called a Sushumna. In that, there are 5 centers connected to 5 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. Muladhara chakra connected with the earth element. Swadhisthana chakra connected with the water element. Manipuraka chakra connected with fire element. Anahata chakra connected with air element. Visuddhi chakra connected with throat element. Then that is the seat of the mind in the waking state. Concentrate here. Any form of God, repeat God's name. Now automatically you transcend all the 5 elements, you become pure and go beyond to Sahasrara with the essence, source of all everything, universal consciousness. That is also symbol of yoga. It is not only symbol, but we must meditate and experience it. That should be our goal in life. Hence, today I am very, very happy to meet you all. I am thankful to our Nil Kamal Singh ji, Assistant Professor of Yoga, who are giving me this online experience to contact with all of you and share with my experience of yoga with you. And may the grace of the Almighty and worshipful Gurudev be upon you. And be good and do good. And nowadays everybody is suffering with fear of the COVID-19 virus. Hence our worshipful Gurudev gave a beautiful mantra, Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. Hence I repeat it for the welfare of all. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrutyor Mutshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrutyor Mutshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrutyor Mutshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrutyor Mutshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrutyor Mutshiyamamrutat. Our Gurudev given us a universal prayer, and that is the spirit of yoga, and that we must follow implicitly in our daily life. That universal prayer is, O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto Thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent and omniscient. Thou art Satchitananda, existence, consciousness, bliss absolute. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptations and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, greed, hatred, anger and jealousy. Fill our heart with divine virtues. Let us behold Thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve Thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember Thee. Let us ever sing Thy glories. Let Thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Let us abide in Thee forever and ever. This is the teachings of worshipful, adorable Gurudev Swami Sivanji Maharaj. May the grace of the Almighty, worshipful Gurudev be upon you. Bestow success in all our noble efforts is my heartfelt prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki Jai. Ganga Maya ki Jai. I am thankful to Vice Chancellor, faculty members, and our Nil Kamal Singh ji, and all the MSc Yoga participants of the Department of Yoga, Manipur University. May the grace of the Almighty be upon you. Thank you.